cuffs are off, man.
Hey everybody, Adam Rank here.
What's up, friends? Daniel Dopp here from the Fantasy Focus Football Podcast over on ESPN.
It's Fabs here, Michael Fabiano from Sports Illustrated.
And you know who you can trust if you've got some questions about your fantasy squad?
Want to check out a cool show on YouTube that'll help you get ready for the fantasy football season?
Check out the Get Right Fantasy Network.
Check out the Get Right Fantasy Network. If you are not subscribed, what are you waiting for? You want to lose your league?
Head on over to YouTube. Check out the Get Right Fantasy Network because they're doing everything they can to make you a better fantasy player.
You got to get right with the Get Right Fantasy Network.
So go and roll your sleeves up. Yeah, go and roll your sleeves up. And I'm getting down cause I roll my sleeves up. And I'm getting right cause I roll my sleeves up. And I'm getting down cause I roll my sleeves up. And I'm getting right cause I
What up? What up? What up, world? Welcome to the Get Right Fantasy Network. I am Mike Herrick, aka Classic Mike, and this is our Week 2 Active and Inactive show. I'll be going over some of the news and notes since our Friday show and going over actives and inactives at 11:30, as well as I'm answering some of your last-second start-sit questions leading up to game time. So please throw your questions in the chat if you have any. I'll be answering them shortly. And if you have any, if you want your question answered right away, make sure you guys use that super chat. I will stop everything and answer your question. Also, I'll be, if we have some time, I'll give you guys some DFS value picks a little bit later in the show. Right now, we're going to go over some of the little news and notes that have been happening since Friday to get this, get things started. Number one, Xavier Worthy, he's been ruled out. Looked good in practice, limited throughout the week. I think it was Thursday and Friday, but ultimately they're going to try to ease him back. Yes, he was wearing like some protective stuff, and then one, they made it black instead of white, and made things a little, everyone was like, oh, he has less. No, he'll be fine. Might be a week or two. I would still hold off for now. What's up, Warriorloff? Glad to have you here, my friend. Quinson Junkins for the Browns. He's active today. He's going to make his Sunday debut. From what I keep seeing, he's going to be in a backup role. So, you might see him getting anything between 10 and 20% of the snaps, and probably a low, overall share of the touches. So for now, I would be viewing him as a very, very non-playable guy today. I will have, keep him on my bench, see what happens. They're also, he did meet with the NFL on Wednesday. So at this point, we have to wait and see how that's going to turn out. He might be getting a suspension on top of things, but today he is guaranteed to have some type of, he'll be involved. Biggest question mark right now is Juwan Jennings. He was limited in practice only on Friday, didn't practice Wednesday or Thursday. He's expected to play, as per reports from Adam Schefter and others. He is, expected to play today against the Saints. A little surprising, only having a limited session in, but he's dealing with, right now currently dealing with a shoulder injury. This is gonna, a lot of the reports said he's gonna be a game time decision. So stick to the show. I'll let you guys know at around 11:30 if he'll be playing or not. 49ers, they do not expect Brock Purdy back next week. They're still unsure of his timeline, but right now he's definitely not going to be back for week 3. They're just very unoptimistic, but at the end of the day, he's been improving as they keep saying. So we'll wait and see. Mason Taylor for the Jets popped up on the injury report, but he practiced in full on Friday. He's expected to play, so I wouldn't read too much into it. Jaden Daniels, he did get an MRI on his knee on Thursday or Friday. Either way, he's fine. They haven't come back with any unknown. I think he just got a little banged up. He was running for his life in a lot of those scenarios. So I would be, just keeping an eye out. Christian Kirk ruled out today. We already kind of knew that, but he was ruled out, I think, Saturday afternoon. Chris Godwin, he's also been ruled out. It's looking more and more like he'll be back week 5, 6. at this point. So we're going to have to wait and see how that turns out. I've been getting some news as we started the show. Bills released their inactives a little early. Inactives, Curtis Samuel is going to be inactive. Ed Oliver, we already knew about. That's kind of big. Tre'Davious White is active today against the Jets. That's big for them. They need a little bit of help in the secondary. So that's good for them. Lots of other news out there right now. Biggest thing right now is the Shedeur Sanders. Apparently the Ravens tried to take him at one point in the draft, and he said, "No, I don't want to be behind. I don't want to be behind that MVP candidate. I just want to not be playing." Ridiculous. What's up, Joe? Great to have you back there, brother. Always a pleasure to have you in the chat. We got Warrior going. Start Broncos defense versus the Colts or Ravens defense versus the Browns. I really don't like playing divisional defenses in like those types of games. Reason being is usually those games are reason why I would is because they're tight. Reason I wouldn't is because of the same thing. Sometimes it can either be really tight or it can go really out of hand real quick. I like the games where I have a little bit more understanding of what might happen. Broncos have a better overall, I think, defense in general. I would prefer at this point to go with the Broncos over versus the Colts. I know the Colts had a wonderful game against the Dolphins. Dolphins are nowhere close to what the Broncos are. Nowhere close. And we could see the old Danny Dimes. I rather go with the Broncos here. Warrior goes, start Keenan Allen versus the Raiders or Ridley versus the Rams. Man, that's a good one. I'm probably going to have Keenan ranked lower. Let me look at my rankings here. My gut is telling me Keenan. I have Ridley at 36, Keenan at 38. I would probably feel a little bit better about Keenan Allen versus the Raiders than I would against Ridley against the Rams. Rams are pretty good overall in the secondary. I do think this is going to be a tougher game for Cam Ward. In general, I mean, they faced the Broncos, did okay. But I think I'm going to stick with Keenan Allen here. T-Dubs, what's going on, man? He goes, have a great day. Thanks, man. Appreciate you reaching out. Brian MC, what's going on, man? Great to have you here. So he goes, drop Scatterboo, Ollie Gordon, or Jaden Higgins for a defense. 10-team half point PPR. Thanks, man. No problem, man. For me, it's Scatterboo or Ollie. I'm not dropping Hayden Higgins yet, but I feel like I've been saying it all year. Scatterboo is probably the one that you're going to cut here. Ollie, don't mind keeping on a team, but it's basically what offense do you like more? Do you like the Giants offense more? Do you like the Dolphins offense more here? Because they're both the backup. They're both the essential backup. Scatterboo saw nothing. Let's be clear. He was the third in the depth chart. He was third with snaps, third with touches. He only got a couple yards. Yeah, he looked good. He got the angry run from Kyle Bryant, and yeah, he did. He's a bruiser. He's a little compact dude that just can. He's a bowling ball. I don't mind Scatterboo at all. I'm a Giants fan. Clearly, I'm not for fantasy. I don't see him as being usable at this point. I'd rather drop him over Ollie. Ollie's number 2 in the pecking order. Bigger back. Can definitely be more involved if A-Chain's hurt. I still don't like the line there. I hate the line there. I think their line is absolute garbage. So, I mean, I don't think you are in any way, shape, or form if you're dropping one of those two, I don't think you're upset. So I would rather aim for one of those two. I can't really tell you which one. I'd probably go with Scatterboo, but Ollie I'd be okay with as well. Jaden Higgins is the one I want to keep on my team for sure. And then it's whatever defense you're looking to get. So yeah, I would definitely one of those two. No problem, Warrior. Anytime, brother. Ask as many questions as you want. I'm here for you guys. If you guys want your questions answered right away, for those that are, new to coming in right now, if you guys want questions answered right away instead of, in order in the chat, make sure you guys throw a super chat in there and I will answer it right away. Will, what's going on? Great to have you here. Always great to have Will in the house. We got DeAndre Swift or David Montgomery. I like this matchup, man. I like both guys here, both facing each other today. It's really who you think is going to have the touchdown. I have Swift at 22. I have David Montgomery at 24. Really close to one another in this situation. Dave's splitting carries. Swift, not really. I think I'm going to lean Swift just a smidge. And it's really just because of his usage. Full PPR as well. They get him involved with the passing game. They did say something about Kyle Mangiani. I can never say his name, so I apologize to the player himself. They're going to get him more involved right now. I want to get his name right because, but they're going to try to get him a little bit more involved. But at the end of the day, I mean, like I've said 100 times, this is like week 2 of the preseason. If you really think about it, these guys are new on the field. They're still getting used to each other in camp. They're always switching in and out and doing things. This is where teams start to gel a little better. We don't even have great analytics until week 4, until we can start seeing what teams have a trend doing. There is no trend currently for anybody. Swift is the only one that I see right now. They gave him a high snap share. They gave him a good amount of the workload throughout the game. They're focused on running it to give a little bit of pressure off of Caleb. I like DeAndre. I'm big on Dave Montgomery. I've always been a Montgomery friend, but for this type of game, I would hold him back if you had the opportunity. In this case, you do. Lions have 2 new two new guards, a fairly, not a Pro Bowl center. So their offensive line is kind of taking a little bit of a step back. Taylor Deckert's hurt on top of that. He's going to play, but he's hurt. So I like the Bears line, even though Swift wasn't really efficient. I think he was like 20 for 50 or whatever it was. I'm still aiming Swift for this one. Brian MC, another question. T-Mac, Jameson Williams, or Hollywood? Hollywood is going to be on the top of the list here. No Worthy, they're going to get him involved. You clearly saw what they did even after Worthy was out. He took on the Xavier Worthy role, if you will. Jameson has a good opportunity as well, but he does not, he's more of a boom play. Hollywood is a safer floor, much safer floor, higher floor than Jameis, higher floor than Tet McMillan. I'm going to go with Hollywood either way. I think where do I have Hollywood? I think at like 20. Where do I have? No, I have Hollywood at 22, Ted at 26, Jameson at 33. So I mean, even with my rankings, I'm still going to go with Hollywood. I just feel more comfortable with him in this offense. I don't care about the matchup. The matchup to me is good because right now they have Eagles favored by 1.5, 47-point over under. It's one of the higher over unders for this week. Jags Bengals are the only other one that is much higher. Well, not much higher, point higher. So I'm going to stick with this particular game and go Hollywood. Ooh, Carlos Bob, what's going on, man? Great to have you here. He goes, Mbuka or T-Mac? This is a great question, man. I'm rolling with Mbuka. Right now, I currently have Mbuka at 18 in my rankings. I have T-Mac at 26. I really, really like Mbuka in his scenario. He's facing the Texans. This game is supposed to be a pretty decent one at 42.5. Right now, Houston's favored by 2.5. That just implies that they're underdogs being behind, which means, implied point totals in more in the Texans' favor than the Buccaneers, but that means that they're going to have to throw it a little more. I like that scenario a little bit more than the Cardinals game. I'm just not a big fan of it. Cardinals are still a good defense. In general, I'd be using them in a lot of DFSs as well this week, or not DFS. Well, I would be using them in DFS, but I'd be using them in my redraft leagues and stuff a lot today too, just because they're cheap. And, if you're streaming defenses, it's a good matchup. Panthers couldn't really move the ball last week. But I like Mbuka. I don't want to say that I'm chasing points, but I like what I saw, how he was utilized last week. You really feel good if when his first game that he comes out, that he pretty much, he was involved in he had one rushing attempt and had 6 targets, 4 catches, 64 yards, right behind Mike Evans in the pecking order. I don't like having Sterling Shepard involved in that, where he was getting 6 targets as well, but they got to see what they had in Mbuka. And I mean, you can definitely tell that they're going to ramp him up a little bit. Panthers game versus the Jags last week was an anomaly. He led in targets with 9. He got 5 of those for 68. I rather have the better quarterback. If I'm gonna have them close in my head, I'm gonna go with the quarterback. In this case, it's Baker, and I'm gonna go Mbuka. Just like it, and it's Monday night. It's always I like having that one guy on Monday night. Sometimes it really helps in some scenarios, hurts in others based on the scenario. But I do like Mbuka here. Marcos, what's going on, man? Great to have you back. He goes, Buenos dias. Yeah, I'm horrible at Spanish, so I apologize. I can only say the curses. Curious what your overall thoughts are on Keon Coleman. I like Keon. I've been a fan of him since last year. I really do think he has an opportunity to start being more involved, have that second-year breakout, if you will. Not saying he's going to be, a top 20 guy, but he will be heavily involved in general. They tried getting him involved a lot more last week versus the Ravens. Overall, I mean, 11 targets for the guy. They were behind in some scenario. They were behind 15, in the third quarter. And that's when, Josh Allen started, just slinging the ball everywhere. It's more of a pass or a run. It's more of a run-heavy offense. So for him to be this involved, 11 targets, and ahead of Shakir and Palmer, you get to see that they like him. They also like him as a red zone target. In general, 8 receptions, 112 yards. This isn't a bad matchup, against the Jets, who had a rough time last week against Aaron Rodgers. I think that he can do well this week overall. Moving forward, though, I really do like him a lot. He's more of a high-end wide receiver 3 that has low wide receiver 1 upside. I know he's wide receiver 2 on the year. Good for him. We had Mac Jones last year being the number 1 quarterback. Or no, that was, I think, 2 years ago. I just remember Mac Jones being like the number 1 quarterback of the week, and then everyone was like, oh, I need him. Let's not overreact. But I still think that what happened was something good, and we can see that moving forward. But I'm still, tempering expectations with him in general. I'm not ready to crown him, this monster, wide receiver 1. I have him currently in my rankings at 39. So I would rather kind of wait. So yeah. Marcos goes, would you start Jameson Williams or Keon Coleman? So right back to it. Jameson at 33 in my rankings. I have Coleman at 39. I would probably be a little bit more bullish on Keenan in the context of his floor. His floor is going to be a little bit higher than Jameis. Jameis has always been a boom bust type player, and they use him in those scenarios. He's not a possession guy. He hasn't been. They use Laporta. They use St. Brown for those particular scenarios. They're still gelling on the line. They're still trying to get to, get their feet about them. New guards on the line is usually not, well, it's not easy. Home game is always a better thing for Jameis. So you can see that. Keon Coleman going to MetLife. I like the scenario because I don't really, anyone besides Sauce that he's going against. I mean, I think that they're going to try to, I don't think they're going to shadow him, but I do think that he's going to see a little bit more of Sauce Gardner in this game. It really, if it's full PPR, I think I'm leaning Keon Coleman. If it's anything less than that, I would be going Jameson just because you have more of an opportunity for those deep balls. The touchdown upside is there. So I think it's really based on your scenario. If you're currently 0-0, I'd probably be sticking with Keon just because I feel a little safer with that. But if I am down, if you faced Love or Kraft last week or this week, I would probably play Jameson just to kind of get that extra spark to your team to have the opportunity to, have, a higher ceiling. He definitely has the higher ceiling. Patrick, what's going on, brother? Great to have you here. Got everybody here today. I love it. Warrior Loft. He goes, start Ferguson versus the Giants, Ingram versus the Colts, or Pitts versus Minnesota. So I'm going to tell you Ferguson, and I got a bunch of Giants fans in here now. We can't stop the tight end for anything. For some reason, we cannot stop the tight end. Saw it last week. Saw it this week. We're going to see it again this week. We couldn't stop Ertz last week. We could, with it, having the touchdown. Love Ingram, love Pitts, but I think Ferguson is your option. The matchup is just good. We have historically been horrible against tight end. So just keep that in mind. Just not a fan overall. The other matchups are just good. Ingram versus, we saw Ingram coming off injury, Pitts going against Minnesota. I would probably rank it Ferguson, Pitts, then Ingram a little bit, just because the re-aggravation of an injury can happen. But, the calf, as we can see with Christian McCaffrey, is, can come back. So I'm going to lean Ferguson here. Healthy, more time to, he's had a little bit more time because they had the Thursday night game to get everything, settled, and everybody can, figure out a game plan against the Giants, run the ball, use the tight end in this scenario. So, well, you can throw on them too with CD. So I'm going to go Fergie here. What up, Dr. Clutch? Great to have you back again, my friend. Always a pleasure. He goes 1.5 tight end premium or tight end PPR. Holy shnikes. Strange, Loveland, or Tongues? I'm going to go Strange. He's the best out of this whole group. Loveland, we saw nothing with. Caleb. Everyone used the whole Laporta narrative, with Ben Johnson. I love the narrative. I just don't think that it's what people think it is. I think people have to understand the pecking order of that particular offense. You didn't see any Luther Burden. You didn't see a lot of Colston Loveland. He had that one big drop that, he had the opportunity to make a play and he didn't. Tuggs is, I don't know enough about the guy to really care. The matchup's okay against the Saints. I would still be playing Strange. I like the matchup in general against the Bengals. 49-point over-under is what all you need to hear. And especially with the 1.5 for tight end, that's what I would do. Patrick, he goes, pick one, Coleman, Chubb, Olave, or Pittman. Also, my QB you picked up JJ McCarthy. I lost. Oh, you had Purdy. But Rodgers, May, Stroud, or Stafford. Okay. So let's go with the first one. Coleman, Chubb, Olave, or Pittman. Let me see. Pittman is... No. I'm going to probably fade Pittman going against Surtain. That's just a no-no for me. Chubb going against the Bucks, I'd probably hold him back a little bit. Via Veda should be there if he's especially if he's healthy in there. But at the same time, it's Monday night, so you wouldn't know until then. Then it's between Coleman. It's between Coleman and Olave. So if I'm breaking down Coleman and Olave at 37 in my rankings, 39 for Coleman, matchup against the San Francisco 49ers. It's at home, which is helpful. Going again, and then Coleman going away to the Jets might get. I think you got to go with the offense here. You got to go with the Saints offense with Kellen Moore, just peppering Chris Olave. It's going to be a tighter game, but if I look at the over-under in these games, it's 40 for the Saints. And see, that's what's killing me. The 47 is what I like the most. I'm going to go Coleman. He's just got a safer floor to me. Olave is tough with that 40 and a half point over-under. I mean, if you want to use the narrative from last week that Jets and the Steelers were like 38 and a half, and they went like almost, I think, 60 points or more, I would probably then lean Olave. The targets, man, that's what's killing me here. Yeah, I think I'm going to switch my pick. I'm sorry, brother. Olave. Let's go Olave. Oh, let me answer your question, your QB question. Also, I had to pick up Lost Purdy, but Rodgers, Drake May, Stroud. Okay. Drake May, Stroud against. I mean, I don't mind Stroud against the Bucks. Bucks have a tough time stopping the pass. Currently, their safeties or their secondary is Rams. Yeah, I think Stroud if you're gonna go. Oh, you have McCarthy. Oh, okay. You're just telling me who was available. Got it. He goes, and in other league, pick 2, Tracy, Walker, or Swift, or Sampson. Swift is a must out of that. It's so hard between Tracy and Walker at this point. I don't know what to tell you. Tracy's been involved, but it's been very difficult to gauge. Oh, okay. Just getting news that Junkins can get anywhere between 10 and 15 snaps, not touches. So just be aware of that. Not really sure. Samson's birthday is today or yesterday, one of the two. No, I think it's today. It's today with Deshaun. So birthday bump. They're going to be down. They're going to be very down in this game. It's an 11. I think they're an 11.5 right now. Oh, it's 12.5. Ravens are favored. You saw what Flacco did last week. Just dumped down to Sampson. 8 targets, 7 catches, I think it was. I like Swift here, and especially if this is full PPR, I would definitely be leaning Sampson just because he was involved a ton. Yeah, it's hard for me to pick between Tracy and Walker. I think Walker's off the list here. Tracy's probably the third in line. If I'm ranking it, I'm probably going Swift, Sampson, and Tracy. Even though Tracy I like, just because of the amount he's on the field. If you don't like Sampson, I have no problem with Tracy as being the next option. I agree. Maybe better Giants run game against, without Parsons. But my whole thing with not having Parsons on the field, they still did okay against the run against Philly. They didn't do they weren't world beaters, but when you're able to hold a guy like Saquon to 60 yards on 18 attempts, that's pretty damn good. Considering this team is a big, heavy run team. Overall, they didn't really switch anything up until near the end, and they had him involved with 5 targets, 4 receptions for 24 against Saquon. I mean, Tracy's not a horrible option, but if you just look at the particular, if you look at everything for the Giants game, it's 5.5. They're favored by 44 over under. I'm just a little. I'm more optimistic for Tracy this week, but Samson, I like all the little other things involved with that game. So it's between Tracy and Samson, but I think Swift is a must play over Walker for sure. What up, Ant? Going, what up? What up? Week 2, here we go. What's going on, man? Dr. Clutch, good luck with your 10 and under football game. Good luck to all your kids. So good luck, fellas. We got Kendall. What's going on, Kendall? Great to have you here, man. Great to have you guys listening on your way home. I hope you guys have a good rest of your day. And it goes Fanning or Fergie. Kind of like what I just talked about before. Fergie's, I mean, at this point going against the Giants secondary, the Giants versus the tight end has always been miserable. I do have Fergie higher, but only by 1, 12 and 14. I just like Fergie a little more in this game. Like I said, you beat the Giants by running on them and throwing to the tight end and just, using that throughout. I mean, spreading the ball out a little bit, but I have no problem with Fergie in this matchup. I should be getting a lot of the actives and inactives as we roll through. They just started tumbling through as we go. So just give me 1 second to adjust so that I can get you guys. Jair Alexander is inactive today. That's huge for the Ravens and Browns game. Right now, that's going to be a really good thing for Jerry Jeudy. I mean, Jair is, he's kind of fell off. He's a shell of his former self, but he not being there is kind of a big deal. Nothing really crazy with the Titans game other than J.C. Latham, their right tackle, is going to be out. That's going to be significant for the Rams defense. So people with defenses, Rams defense, I would be loading up right now on that. Lions don't have anybody of merit that matters. See if I missed anything here. Giants, of course, Andrew Thomas is doubtful and now ruled out. Okay. Seahawks, no one out of the ordinary. Devin Witherspoon is out today. That's kind of a big deal for them. He's one of their best corners going against DK Metcalf. That might be moving DK up a little bit for me. Just because I've already kind of moved him up because of the revenge narrative, but he could be a top, number 1 wide receiver at the end of the day, I think. So this might be that might be significant here for sure. Browns are going to be without Jack Conklin on the right tackle. Ugh, that's gross. Quinson Junkins is active. Shador Sanders is inactive, but the emergency quarterback. For those that didn't see the news, crazy. Saints inactive. Trey Palmer, nothing crazy. Looks like Trent Williams is active. He was a true game time decision today. Juwan Jennings is active, so Trent Williams, Juwan Jennings they're both there, both active, so that's good. But kind of stinks for those Ricky Purcell owners that were really looking forward to it, but I don't think that's really going to affect much today. Grady Jarrett's active for the Bears. That's good. Yep. Yeah. Whoever posted this was in the same boat as me. Dolphins safety is active. Nothing crazy for the Dolphins, which is good. Okay. All right. So, I mean, those are all the significant stuff. We already knew about Christian Gonzalez. He was going to be out today for the Patriots. Oh, Chisholm's out. He wore a fun shirt today. When he walked in, Tommy DeVito is inactive, which we already kind of knew. I don't see anything else of merit that matters at this point. I'll keep pulling and seeing if there's anything else that comes through, but we already got actives and inactives. So the biggest thing is Juwan Jennings. He's active. Trent Williams, that's a big inactive. Witherspoon is a huge inactive today. Honestly, that's a really big deal. So make sure you're aware of that. If you have DK Metcalf, I've moved him up significantly. I have him in my top 12 now. So I would definitely be using DK today. Just because of the narrative, also because of the concept that their best corner's out. They're going to have to put Worley on him. Opens things up with guys like Calvin Austin. For those that have Calvin Austin and have used him in the past, that's kind of big. So Kendall, he goes, heard Nick Zalis take on a best bet this week. Neighbors modified reception yards over like 109 something up there at about 15 to 16 times the payout. Thoughts against terrible Dallas defense. You win. I'd be okay with it, but I'm a little nervous about the ceiling because of Russ. Bland, I think, if memory serves me, Bland's out. So if Bland's out, I feel a lot better about that. But overall, I would temper expectations in general. Darren Waller's out. Jalen Wright is out. We already kind of knew those guys were out. Steelers, Joey Porter's out. Oh, a lot of defensive guys out. Pete's out. That's not good for Aaron Rodgers. Keaton Mitchell's out today. He's inactive. They're using Ali. Isaiah Likely is out. Patrick Ricard's out. That's kind of significant too. He's a big part of their run game. Really good blocker. That's unfortunate for Henry owners, but I think they'll be okay against the Browns. But definitely pulling. I'm taking the under for I'm taking the underdog in points in this case. Sorry, more just having a ton of news come in at the same time, so I'm just trying to get through the notifications. So yeah, Grady Jarrett active, great. Jack Conklin out, not good. Taylor Decker is active, that's good for the Lions today. Juwan Jennings and Trent Williams are both active for the 49ers. Great. Devon Witherspoon is out for the Seattle Seahawks. That's not good, but good for your, DK Metcalf shares. Nothing crazy. Giants already knew. All right, cool. Everything seems to be up to date. But yeah, Kendall, I'd be okay with it, but I'm a little unsure just because of Russell Wilson. Marcos goes pick 3, full PPR, flex spots. Devontae Adams, Dobbins, Myers, Connor, Jameson, or DJ. Devontae Adams for sure. I'm not gonna not pick Devontae. I think he'll be involved against the Titans. Jacoby Myers is the other guy I like in this, and James Conner. I think I'm going to go with. Those are the names that stood out to me when I was looking at this. So I'm going to go Devontae, Jacoby, and James Conner. Only reason why I like James Conner a lot today, or not James Conner, sorry. Jacoby Myers a lot today. Jacoby with Brock being banged up. I know they're going to try to get Brock involved. I mean, it's just part of, if he's hurt, try to get out of that. I honestly think that at this point, they're going to use him a little bit more and lean on him to try to give a little bit of relief to Brock. Monday night game, the whole deal. He's expected to play as per Pete Carroll, but we'll see. We'll definitely see. Okay. Kendall and Anthony are going to help you guys out in the chat as well. Mike, what's up, Ray? He goes, Chig Okonkwo or wait on Bowers. If you can get Mike Mayer, get Michael Mayer. I wouldn't wait with Chig. Honestly, I don't feel comfortable with it in general. I rather have Michael Mayer and then wait until kickoff, and then you can make your decision there. But at the end of the day, I moved down Brock significantly. Like Brock's like number 1 on everybody's rankings or whatever he is. I have him at 13. Like he might be fine. He might be, no issues at all. But I still think he's going to be limited to a point. He was limited in practice on Saturday. That's not a good sign, even if they're expecting him to play. Did not practice for 2 days, and it was the other leg that was wrapped up because he ended up hurting his right leg, and then they had him wrapped in his left. So it makes me think that there's an injury that we're not aware of, or it could be something where it's going to be a little bit more of a harder time for him. I rather wait and see. Like, I don't mind waiting and seeing for Brock, but I would have Michael Mayer over a Chig Okonkwo. I just didn't see anything from him that was exciting from last week. That offense as a whole, I'm just not really sold on yet. He didn't really do anything outstanding. Yeah, 4 targets, 3 catches for 19 yards. You're going to see something like that. I'd rather get Mayer and play him if Brock's out, and then play Brock. So I'd rather do that. But if you have no other choice, then you're going to have to play it. If you don't have any other options, you're going to have to make it where you have to make adjustments and have, Bowers either in a flex spot, which you don't want to have to do, or you're going to have to get a guy for you're going to have to pick up like a Dalton Schultz or somebody like that to make sure that you're good for Monday. So what up, Worm? Great to see you here. Nick in the house. He goes, Mikey, full PPR, Kamara or DJ Moore. Great options here. I think I'm leaning more towards. Let me just double check something. I didn't see a lot of Kamara stuff. 11 for 45. 2 for 2. Wasn't involved in the passing game a lot. Spencer didn't really check down a ton. That's not good. Going against the San Francisco 49ers today. 49ers overall, I mean, they were able to hold the 2 running backs a little bit in that game, 47 and 20, so like 60 some odd yards. Something like that. 1 touchdown out of it. DJ Moore, I'm still a little in between on. He's definitely higher in the pecking order than everybody else. Besides Rome, it seems like number 2, 3 for 68. I'm going to go Kamara. Here. Like it a little bit better. So Kendall goes, roster. I kind of have a feeling that Mac Jones is going to be like a top 5 QB on this week, though. Not projecting it, but could see a crazy bounce back for the wide receivers. One way to find out. Yeah, they're just going back and forth. Oh, good. See, smart. Listen to me. I'm telling you. And Mayer was pretty good last week overall. I mean, he was. I mean, he's very low in the pecking order, but it's because they run a lot of 12 personnel. He's out there at least. He was 4 for 4 for 38, which is very good overall. Like, think about that. He was heavily involved in a passing game. He was 4th in targets behind Deontay Thornton. I do like that. I want to double check something real quick. Because I want to see I kind of want to see his snap share from last week. Because if I can, I just want to give you the best thought process that I have here. But I like Mayer either way, even if even if he's active. Yeah, Mike Mayer was out there 63% of the time, and that's when Bowers got hurt too. So he led in snap shares last week. I like Mayer a lot, man. Just you'll be fine. Wicked. What's going on, brother? He goes, I Googled handsome ball knowers, and the first link took me here. Hey, man. I love it, man. Thanks. That makes me happy. And I'm even wearing my hat today. So I got to cover my not horrible haircut. I like my barber, but just wanted to wear the hat today. the good old Bogey Bros hat for those that play golf. One of my favorite golf hats out there and golf brands out there. So if you guys are a big, what is it? Shameful plug. One of those, one of those ones we're not sponsors of, but I wish I was. Is Bogey Bros. Check them out, guys. Really great outfits. Really love their stuff. Have at least, I think I have 4 of their shirts already and about 5 of their hats. So check them out if you haven't already. So Wicked goes full PPR, 1 point, first down, bonus for running backs. Got it. Mooney, Benson, or Shaheed? Okay. I'm going to go Mooney's back. Shaheed going against the 49ers. 49ers are favored here, so it kind of puts Shaheed in a better spot. Only favored by 3, 40-point over-under is not my favorite. Texans 42, or no. Where's the Falcon game? 44. Cardinals game 44. Arizona's favored. I'm going to go Benson. Just going by the numbers there. They're all pretty lower on the totem pole for me. 1 point for first down kind of makes me want to go Benson anyway. They kind of throw him in on third down too. He is getting a decent snap share, I think, last week. Let me just double check my math here. Yeah, they had him in at 33% of the time, which isn't bad overall. So they're going to get him a little bit more involved. His numbers were, remember they were mediocre, but, they definitely got him involved a little more. Let me see. Yeah, I mean, 8 for 69 is great. Had a big yard, big 52-yard run, which is huge. Wasn't really involved. Oh no, he was. He had 1 target for 6. So, yeah, I think I'm gonna lean. Benson here. I like leaning on the running back in some scenarios just because they have more guarantee of a touch comparatively to someone like Darnell Mooney or Shaheed, who are in boom bust scenarios. We saw Shaheed last week. He had a good target share. Maybe Shaheed. You know what? I'm gonna go Shaheed. After looking at, I didn't realize the stat line had 9 targets. They were throwing the ball all over the place. Yeah, let's go Shaheed for this one. Wicked goes, Kendall, you big dog. You were there. You were the second link. Don't worry. Nice. Margos goes, pick 2. Full PPR, Devontae Adams, Keenan Allen, Cedric Tillman, or Jalen Warren. Full PPR, I'm going to lean. I'm probably going to go Devontae Adams regardless. I like the matchup. Keenan is a close second right now. Let me just see. Chargers favored by 3.5, 46.5 point over under. The Tillman thing is going to be a little bit harder for me, even though I do like the particular matchup with the 12.5 over under, 45.5 over under, or sorry, 12.5 point spread, 45.5 over under. I don't mind that. Full PPR too. I think Devontae Adams has to be number 1. if I'm ranking these, even though the point total is a little low at 41. I'm going to go Adams. And then let me look at my rankings for this one. I think I have to sit Jaylen Warren. I don't like doing that. Seattle's still good, but they're coming out east. Teams going west to east never do that great. So they could have a good day. I have Adams currently. Where is he? Well, let me look for Allen. You would think I would memorize these by now, right? I have Allen at 38. I have Tillman at 46. I have Jaylen Warren I think Jaylen Warren I have pretty high this week. I think I have him at like 30 or 26. Yeah. Let's go Adams and Cedric Tillman. Let's use the narrative. I'm going to use the narrative of they're going to be behind and they're going to have to throw it a ton. And that's the only way that they're going to be able to do that. Don't want to use if you look on a lot of the fantasy websites and stuff and you're going to see a green mark next to Baltimore with them stating that they are, number one worst against, it's only because Josh Allen threw for 300 plus. And that's why. I wouldn't use that. He's a better, overall quarterback. Joe Flacco is not like that. So just keep that in the back of your head. Allen has the better quarterback. Warren is in a weirder scenario with Kenneth Gainwell. So he was involved in the passing game, but it scares me a little bit with his usage overall. I was cursing his name until the third quarter. So you might have a rough go in the beginning. Yeah, he was 11 for. He led the team with rushes with 11 for 37. And he was number 2. He was 40. He was only out on the field for 45% of the snaps. Kenneth led with 54. So that's not great, but he got more usage, if that makes sense. And then on top of that, he was involved in the passing game just a smidge, only for two passes. Rodgers, he used to be notorious for checking down. So I think I'm going to stick with Cedric Tillman. Was heavily used last week against the Bengals. That's also has a lot to do with the matchup in general. But 8 targets, 5 catches, 51 yards in the touchdown. I don't want to chase touchdowns, but that's a decent one. I'm going to go Devontae and Cedric here. So pick one full PPR: Charbonnet, Mike Evans, or Jordan Mason. I think I have to go Evans here. He's going to have a tougher matchup against Stingley, though. They are going to be away. They're going to be on Monday night, of course. I like the quarterback better. The running backs, I don't mind. Charbonnet, I'm a little unsure about, but the Steelers let basically Breece Hall and Braylon Allen run all over him. The full PPR is what's keeping me engaged with Mike Evans. He did well last week. And Buka kind of outshined him, with the 2 touchdowns. But he was involved. Let me see. Where are the numbers? There it is. Yeah, 8 for 5. Not bad. Still leads in targets. I mean, Charbonnet is definitely the safer floor. Evans has the higher ceiling. I'd probably lean Charbonnet just because, and it's like I said, it's also based on Thursday night. If you're Thursday night, they're kicking your butt, I would probably go Mike Evans. If you're kind of tied right now at 0-0 and you're going into it, I would go Charbonnet just to feel a little bit better about it. He is used in the passing game, so I do like it. Marcos goes, thoughts on Booty? I like the kid. I remember a lot of people talking him up in general. I don't mind him one bit. Right now, I'd temper expectations with that offense. Today is a day that I would feel comfortable playing him just because of the matchup, and their secondary is, the Dolphins secondary is horrible. The 8 targets is encouraging. The 103 yards is also encouraging. Yards per reception is good. I mean, he looked good. He looked solid. He was actually tied with Hunter Henry in targets. Did better overall. So I do like him, but you can see that Stephon Diggs was still involved. 7 targets. They were behind in this game too. So they were trying to throw their way back. I don't mind him moving forward, but he's a low end wide receiver. Mid range wide receiver 3 for me moving forward. Herbert or McCaffrey? It's going to be Herbert every time, man. I can't play McCarthy. I just don't feel comfortable playing McCarthy. McCarthy is. I wasn't comfortable with him to start the year. I prefer Herbert overall. He's just a better overall quarterback with more options around him. They have the run game to kind of take things off, and have teams respect the run game a little more, which opens things up for the pass. So I would prefer that over McCarthy, who I just don't trust. He lucked out in that, end of the game, and had his team rally around him. So I just like Herbert. I like him a lot better. So Kendall disagrees with me on the one above me with Charbonnet, Evans, and Jordan Mason. Baker isn't going to throw sub 200 passing yards often. Give me Evans. My whole thing, the Houston pass rush is better than what people think it might be. Will Anderson on one side, they have a really strong front line. Their secondary is actually pretty good with Stingley, who's going to be covering him overall. I'm not saying that they're going to shut him down, but I do think that they can limit Mike Evans just a smidge. 42.5 point over under. They're favored, which, I don't mind that for Mike. I just think Charbonnet is a safer floor and definitely more one of those options where he'll be involved in the passing game a ton for this game. Steelers did a really bad job with holding back the run. I know they're going to try to correct that this game, so you might see that. And like I said, the only downside is Seattle coming east. Anytime teams come east early, it's never a good thing for that team. I when I make my picks this week, that's one of them. It's a 1:00 game from West Coast to East Coast is a very big difference. I know they do their best to adjust the time and all that stuff, but I'm telling you, for something like that, I'd rather have I'd rather have the running back here. His usage was good last week. Like I said, 58 over Kenneth Walker at 40. Might be a changing the guard before we know it. Wicked goes full PPR. Diggs, Tillman, Chubb. Tillman. Like Tillman. Like the narrative overall. Like I said, 12.5 point spread, 45 point over under. Ravens are favored by 12.5 there. So they're going to have to throw the ball to keep in it. And that's going to go to Tillman. Chubb I don't hate, but Vita Vea is going to, Vita Vea is very good at the run, stopping the run. And Chubb has not shown anything that he could run outside. He can run inside, can't run outside. Doesn't have the speed he used to. So they're going to have to really do their best to. I think they're going to do well with spalling up the middle. Diggs not there yet. Not ready to do anything with him. I do like the matchup versus the Dolphins, but Patriots historically have not done well when they go to Miami. And it's the other way around for other teams, for Miami to go up north. So, yeah, I'm going to stick with Tillman there. Yeah, I never understood that. I remember seeing somebody like really break down like the divisions to have them change so that those teams aren't in the same, like having like the AFC or the NFC, no, AFC West or AFC South be, I think, Miami, Texans. I forgot the whole list, but it's pretty interesting. It's kind of crazy when you look at those breakdowns, like Dallas is in the NFC East and things like that. But Jonathan Smith, what's going on, man? Great to have you here. He goes full PPR: Devontae Smith, Jalen Warren, or Purcell. I'm going Purcell. Like Purcell in this game. Really like his particular situation. Hopefully we can have Mac Jones target him early and often. Juwan Jennings doesn't scare me much. Will he be involved? Yes. Purcell is the higher option. Like, he's just the better option overall. Warren, he's the safer floor out of these guys, but Purcell has the higher ceiling. Devontae Smith hasn't shown me anything. Jalen Hurts doesn't he throws the ball minimally, and I'm not sold on their offense overall. I mean, I think he only got 3 targets last week. Yeah, 3 for 16. That's not his normal stat line, but they couldn't even get guys like A.J. Brown involved, and A.J. Brown is an elite receiver. I'm just not there yet. Playing the Chiefs, yeah, they did well against them in the Super Bowl, and Smith had a great game against them. You want to use that narrative, go ahead. But Mac Jones with Purcell, I know that kind of scares people, but I'm not that scared with it. I'm going to go Purcell. If I'm ranking this in the 3 of them, it's going to be Purcell, Warren, and then Devontae Smith. All right, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you guys are throwing your questions in the chat if you haven't already. Also, make sure you guys, if you haven't, check out Underdog Fantasy. Use that promo code GetRight. If you're new to Underdog and just registering, use the promo code GetRight. They have great options available. This was this week's, which was Jordan Love coming in with his 0 pass yards. They always help you out with the pick'em as well. So make sure you guys check that out. Use promo code GetRight, and they will help you at checkout. I don't want to tell you something that's not there. So just make sure you guys use our promo code. They will help you out one way or another. All right. Let's see. Do we have any other comments? Nope. Make sure you guys, if you haven't already, make sure you guys are hitting that like and subscribe button. If you're new to the show, please make sure you guys are liking and subscribing to this. Appreciate anybody that has already. Really appreciate T-Dubs who came in and commented as well on our post on X, letting people know to come watch and enjoyed what we had to say, what I had to say, and what others in the chat. So make sure you guys are doing that as well. Make sure you guys check out our lineup below. Like I said, we're here every Sunday, Monday, Tuesday with Phil on the Extra Point. He'll be on the Extra Point, as well as back here on Wednesday doing roster management. Said that on purpose. And then on Friday, last week we started our new Start Sit show. It's Start Sit Q&A. We're not going to be doing the full breakdowns. We have all those, we have all that information that we can give you when we give you our breakdown. And we want to focus on you guys. We want to make sure that you get your questions in. We also have better interaction when you guys are involved in the chat, like we are here on Sunday mornings, where you guys can come back on Sunday morning, get your last second questions in, just because, a lot of things change between Friday and Sunday. So you can always ask your questions here, and then we can help you get those, questions answered. And then give you guys those actives and inactives on Sunday night. Or Sunday morning. So if you guys, make sure you guys throw those questions out. I don't think I'm going to do DFS value picks today. I don't think so. I have them all here, but I don't think I'm going to do them, just because we're having a good time with all these questions. And, if there are none, I might start wrapping things up a little bit, just so that I can get myself ready. I got a couple things to do around the house before I get started. So make sure, if you haven't already, check us out. Make sure you guys also check out Trophy Smack as well. if you haven't already. I mean, we're in that point of the year where teams are or leagues are looking to get new trophies or to start a trophy or get a new trophy or whatever. You can get these trophies custom made. You can get belts custom made for you as well. You can wear that Kirk Cousins chain around you or get a custom ring like we got last year for people. So make sure you guys check out trophysmack.com. Use promo code GetRight and they will help you at checkout. Marcos, as always, thank you for your help. Of course, not a problem, man. That's what we're here for. Here to help you guys win your fantasy leagues. We want to make sure that you guys are winning. I want to make sure I win as well. So I do the best I can to give you guys the best advice I can possible. All right. So I don't see a ton of questions in the chat. I think I'm going to start wrapping things up now. Hope everyone has a wonderful week 2. We will see you guys tomorrow night with Frank. He'll be here at 9 p.m. Pacific, 12 a.m. Eastern, so technically Tuesday morning. So make sure you guys check us out then. I will see you guys next Friday. I will be here for Start Sit. Otherwise, hope everyone has a wonderful week 2. Unless you're facing me, I'll see you all next time. Peace.
White fantasy is the play. Marking nothing but I tune every Friday. Strategies provide